You scared her.
Oh, sorry. Hey everyone.
Hi.
Today is a lazy Saturday for our family because we've been lazy all day. We all got a nap today, all four of us. It's just very fortunate that our cat suddenly decided that he knew it was time to record, so he walked out from his Wilson's basket.
He only has two places to go. His sleep basket and his food basket. Oh, do we feel better now? Oh, uh-huh.
If you have not met her, this is Caitlin, our newest member of our YouTube channel. She has been paid very well today. Lots of milk, lots of diapers, and she's a little milk drunk at the moment. So Caitlin is a little over 2 weeks old. She was born the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. As I was reminded multiple times in the hospital that that's probably not a good sign for me, a girl born on Black Friday. But we just want to make this video to one, tell you guys, and two, to document our birth story.
Do you feel so much better now? Huh? We were having cryings before we started and now we know why. Yes. And if we can finish that business, we'll change you in a minute. Okay, so Thanksgiving morning, we started off the day at about 5 o'clock. We decided that since we were both up, we were gonna go and do the turkey trot.
It is part of our yearly tradition that we go do a turkey trot. Not sure why that is a part of our tradition, because neither one of us really enjoy running. This year we went back and forth about whether we were gonna go or not. And ultimately I told Margaret, I said, you're pregnant, it's up to you on if we're going on this or not. And she said, well, I don't know, we'll see. So we I usually wake up about 5:30, and she woke up and she said, well, since I'm up, I guess we'll try and go.
Now, I had been doing workouts, which you would not know from the footage that is about to follow. But I had been doing regular walking, squats. So to me, going and walking, I wasn't gonna do the 5K, I was gonna do the 1 mile walk, and that wasn't a big deal at all from what I had been doing my whole pregnancy. So we went and we had a great time. We always get pictures at the end. We came home, got cleaned up, went to his parents for Thanksgiving, had a great time. Went to my parents for Thanksgiving. We had a great time. 7:15, 7:30, we decided to call it quits. I was very uncomfortable. So we headed home, and I got home and I looked at John and I said, you know what? I feel so huge and so uncomfortable. I could be totally fine with if she just came on now. And that was, I was 37 and 2 weeks. And he said, I know, honey, you know, go ahead and go get a shower. We'll go to bed early. I know you're tired. It's been a long day. I'm tired. So that was our plan. So I went and got in the shower, was looking forward to going to bed.
And at this point, I made me a cup of coffee because I was gonna go and edit some videos. I got a couple of remaining projects to do, and so I made me a cup of espresso, and I went and I just sat down. I'm talking about just sat down, turned on my computer, and I heard from across the house, John! And I was like, what else is going on now? And then she went, John! But the way it sounded like something important happened. So I came over. Not once did I ever think that her water had broke. So I came in and she stood there. She said, my water broke. And I said, are you sure? Because she, believe it or not very polite, but she had joked about that before, which I told her.
I had joked that I was gonna get him good at one point with a pretend water breaking.
Yeah, and she said, no, my water broke. And I said, okay. So
he goes, so what do we do? And I knew my water had broken.
You didn't know your water had broken.
I thought deep down my water had broken, but my first instinct was I need to check with my mom. I mean, she's had 6. So he looked at me and he goes, what do we do now? And I said, give me my phone. I'm calling my mom. So anyway, I called my mom. She knew immediately based off what I told her that my water had broken. I told her there was a pop in the shower and I was leaking fluid. Anyway, she came over, and by the time she got here, I was positive because I'd had quite a few big gushes.
That's disgusting. But anyways, we weren't ready. We weren't ready for this.
We were not ready at all.
As previously stated in other videos, we weren't ready for this. You know, we were talking about we were gonna finish the house that weekend because we had the tree to put up, we have the village to put out, pack our suitcase that weekend. I had just got done telling Margaret, hey, we gotta pack our suitcases in case she decides to come early. Well, she did, and we weren't ready. We didn't have her bag, the baby's bag ready. We didn't have our bags ready. So I started running, pulling out suitcases, and I said, okay, put whatever you want in. So I packed mine. I didn't really know what to pack either, you know? So fortunately, Margaret's sister had sent us a list in which it kind of helped us a lot, but kind of didn't, because there were things that they had to bring that I didn't, like shower stuff, because I didn't shower at the hospital.
No, he had to come home and get in our shower, lucky duck.
Yeah, but you know, so we started throwing stuff in there, pillows, clothes, shorts, long sleeve shirts, and we started throwing baby stuff in there. And I'm like, what baby stuff do we bring? You know, diapers and clothes, and you know, we had a couple of things planned out for her, but it wasn't fully planned out. So
I called up to the labor and delivery unit, and it's kind of funny because I don't know, I felt like very much not a nurse that night. But I called up there and told them, you know, my water had broken and we were gonna head up soon. I actually know two of the OB doctors really well. And the doctor who did our delivery had told me that she was going to be on Thanksgiving night. So I texted her to ask her how long I could stay at home and try and labor at home, because that was important to me. So she gave me a time frame and suggested that basically we get ready, and once we were ready, maybe give it a little bit of time, but head on to the hospital. So I started having contractions, and I quickly learned the difference between a Braxton Hicks and a real contraction. But at the same time, even though it hurt, it was kind of exciting. So I don't know, I think John has a little bit of video of my having contractions here at the house.
Well, folks, this is it. Today is November the 25th, and we are getting ready to go to the hospital because baby Caitlin is coming.
Officially.
We just got home from Thanksgiving with our families, and Margaret was taking a shower. I was doing some work, and she said, John, my water broke. So we are working through some contractions, and then we'll head to the hospital. And then obviously, you know, the stubborn person that she is, she said, well, I'm just gonna stay here for a few more hours just to get
one more hour.
Get into labor a little more. And I looked at her mom, and her mom looked at me, and her mom said, and I said, nope, it's time to go. I'd rather you be at the hospital sitting in a bed and wait than for us to be here and something else go on and we don't know what happens. I sure didn't know what happened. So anyway, so we head on to the hospital, and we got there. I dropped her off. We got upstairs. She got into this room. They did all this other stuff, and one thing led to another, and here she is. Okay, the reason that the cat left was it's time to eat.
So he knew it.
So he's sitting there waiting by the food.
Long story short, we made it to the hospital having contractions. I had no idea whatsoever how much water was inside of me. Just saying. When we got into the observation room, I don't think the nurse was completely convinced that my water had broken. And she kept talking about if you move over to L&D and if your water has broken and if we need to draw labs. And I'm sitting there gushing fluid going, oh, I know for a fact my water is broken, but I didn't say anything. And I kept having contractions, and they started coming about It was about every 5 minutes, but it took a while to get everything done. So I'd had quite a few by the time she actually checked me to see if my water had broken. And to quote her, she said, "Oh, wow, you really did break your water. You're sitting in a giant puddle." And I looked up, and if I hadn't been very uncomfortable, I probably would have said something slightly sarcastic, but I didn't. So they got that done, and once they decided that I was indeed going into labor, they did the COVID test. By the way, that was my first COVID test ever, and I, like a champ, handled it going up my nose. So then we just really settled in to contractions.
How are we feeling?
So we're doing good. We're having occasional painful contractions. They're good. John gets to do counter pressure as much as he wants. And little one. We have little contractions and we have big contractions. This is a little one. That's good. We're gonna have an amazing night. John brought 2 coffees. He's getting ready for some full-on labor. He's gonna do great. I know you are. So, yeah. So last time we're gonna feel her kicking and moving. It's kind of weird. I love feeling her move. It's kind of surreal and odd to think that this is the last night I'm gonna feel her move. And we had taken my birthing ball, so I got to sit on the birthing ball.
We're bouncing for the baby to come on out.
Just that morning, I had shown John a video of how to do counter pressure. And when I showed it to him, I don't think he was thrilled to be going over it with me, but he kind of humored me. We had gotten home from the turkey trot, the 5K, and he humored me and came in and pressed on my back and did his fist and pushed on my hips, and he was a very good sport. I think he thought this is pointless and there's no need for it yet, but he did it. So that night when I was sitting on the birthing ball and I told him, I was like, counter pressure, he did a great job. And we quickly got into a smooth little routine of him pushing on my back and handling contractions. There was one point where the nurse came in really quickly. I hadn't been paying attention to the monitor, but her heart rate dropped to about 65. For a few seconds, it was significant. So she came back in and told me that the plan had been to take me off the monitor occasionally, but with that big drop, she couldn't come off the monitor, and honestly, I was fine with that. I checked to make sure that I could still stay on my ball the whole time, and I was allowed to, and I could get up and walk around. So because of that, I was fine with it, and actually it gave me comfort to be able to look in the monitor and see how she was doing.
But overall, that nurse was very nice.
She was incredible.
She was very helpful in everything, and she was very understanding in everything.
Yes. The entire staff was fantastic. So then when I got over to labor and delivery, again, amazing staff, and we settled in on the ball, and the time kind of got away from me. I quit really knowing what time it was. Before I knew it, it was 2 a.m. Side note, my water broke right about 8 p.m. So around 2 a.m., the contractions got really strong.
And the doctor that Margaret wanted to deliver the baby gets off at
6 a.m.
6 a.m. And I said, honey, you have about 3 hours to get going.